to get insights into all of these issues. We get very, very informed guest on the program from Abuja studio. He's a federal lawmaker, Senator Sani Musa. And from Gusau is Dr. Sani Shinkafi, an advisor to the governor of Zamfara State. Both of them will be giving us insight into this good news and how we can secure some of these states. That's going to be next on the program. These two guests of mine will be discussing these students that are now freed at last. Join us again, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us right here on the program. Let's get to talk about the good news that are coming. But look, tonight our focus is how to secure some of these children in their schools so that they cannot will not have the fear of being abducted or kidnapped. Look at those innocent kids. And so good news, it gladdens the heart of everyone to see that these kids are now returned to their families. Let's get some insights now. Look at that weak one there. So let's get some insight from Senator Sani Musa, who is in our Abuja studio, and also Dr. Sani Shinkafi. Senator, thank you so much. I know I spoke with you when these kids were abducted, and I'm very sure that some of them are your members of your constituents, and I saw the passion which you spoke when I called you when this happened, and the scenario you painted about the situation of things in that area. What can you tell us about the release of these students and how they were released? Can you give us insight into this?
Thank you, Mr. Sheun, and good evening, viewers. I think today or yesterday, I will call it a memorable day for all Nigerians. And credit must be given to the Niger State government, to the governor of Niger State, His Excellency Alhaji Abubakar Sadiq Sani Bello, who has done everything possible. He has done everything possible to see that these children regain their freedom. A lot of people wouldn't know what he has been going through. We have been talking almost every day about this issue. I know how much and how far he has gone, both in intelligence gathering, in even knowing where these children are, in knowing the condition of these children. He did very, very well, and I can say we must thank him and extend the appreciation of the parents also to him. All these children are from my constituency, and nobody will have a child. Even if you don't have a child, you would not want to see a toddler going through what these children have gone through. First and foremost, the trauma. These are little innocent kids. But there is nothing anyone can do than to thank the Almighty Allah for sparing their lives, for putting that conscience in the minds of those bandits not to harm these children, that they have not harmed these children. Unfortunately, we lost one, and that was due to illness. You can imagine the condition where they are. I don't want to go back to it, but I believe that we have a lot to do, and we are ready to do most of these things in order to secure our environment, not only schools. This country must be free of this insecurity, and I am very sure, without mix of word, Mr. President is on top of this thing. Yes, we are all Nigerians. We belong to different divides. We belong to different ethnic groups. But I will tell you, peace and insecurity, they are two parallel, and they are two divided entities. So what we all Nigerians should try to imbibed and preach is peace. Condemnation does not give you that peace that we require. I've seen the effort of Mr. Governor. I've seen the effort of all the people surrounding him in how they will tackle this thing. And my appreciation is that these children are back home. There was not too much noise. Nobody knows what this gentleman was doing. As of 2 days ago, he was right inside the den of a forest in Mariga, where the security outfits the state government formed and hunters were able to chase away these bandits. And this is the position he has taken. And this is what is going to yield result for this country. We must not sit down every time to wait until when we are attacked. But fine and good, these children are back. And one thing I want Nigerians to know, the school at which this dastardly act did happen was a private Islamic school. It was a school that the pupils usually come in the evening, maybe around 4 o'clock. Some might come around 9. It's not like a normal conventional school. It's an Islamic school. And when they come, they do the Islamic school, I mean the Arabic studies, and they go back home. So most of these children are within the same environment. So you can see it's not like there is negligence. These children were not under even the school authority because they are not in a boarding institution. The Islamic school is not a boarding institution. It's like a day institution where they will come from their houses and go back. But so as it is, we are lucky that these children are back home safely.
If, Senator, you've been describing the situation for us, but I will ask the terrain and what is being done to ensure that that difficult terrain which you described to me the last time I spoke with you is being overwhelmed by our security agencies and the presence of the local policing system that the governor has put in place. But tell us, because we are hearing about 110 million naira ransom which they were asking, they were threatening. Did any money exchange for these children, or we were successful to get them without any ransom?
The Niger state government has made it very categorically clear, and it's one of the policies of the state government, which His Excellency initiated. There is no payment of ransom for whatever reason. And I so much agree with him. I'm one of those people that agreed with that policy. Because the more you give the ransom, the more the trade will continue, because they have turned it to a trade. But I will give you some instances. When they approached the government asking for ransom, the government felt it cannot go against its policy. But you having your children, the parents decided that, look, I have a farm, I have a motorcycle, I have a small car. They all sold all they have to be able to gather what they can take to these bandits. That is their own initiative, not government at all. And unknown to government, unfortunately, when they took this money, the man that took the money and everyone that was to be released, those that will be released, were held back. There was no money given back. The person that took the money was also detained. Not until when about 13 of them were able to have a way to escape. And after they escaped, these people opened a new request. They now asked for more of the ransom. And the state government insisted that we are not going to pay a kobo. Now these children were taken. These people now complain that they were feeding these children. They have spent so much of their money. But the policy of government is that no ransom will be given. And they pleaded The parents pleaded. The parents were almost in fact, almost every day. I don't know the number of calls Mr. Governor will be receiving from these parents, but I know I have received so many calls appealing that we should do something about it. But, I mean, we are part of this government, and we cannot encourage payment of ransom. So the parents did their best. Now let me tell you, from what I heard reliably, when few of the children were falling ill, one became very serious. These same bandits were running helter-skelter to look for how they would give medication to this to this child. Unfortunately, the child gave up. He lost his life. From there again, these bandits decided to open communication with the school teacher, with the head teacher of the school, which they have caught doing before. For a very long time, they refused to contact everybody. So when they opened that chapter of communication, the head teacher now gathered the parents, and they all decided to put it to prayers. And all the parents said, we are people of faith. For whatever reason, if these people thought this is the best way they would take away these children, and if it is the way that these children will go back to God, be it. But they are not ready to give anything anymore.
Wow, what a story there.
They insisted, but at the end of the day, the head teacher, who is also so much concerned because he was holding, the custody of these children, it was at this school that these children were captured. Now, as he was communicating, the way I spoke with him, he bursted to tears when they told him that one of the pupils,
Senator, yeah,
he bursted to tears.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So let me take
the day.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. Yep.
Let me take a moment, please.
Give you this. It's very important.
Okay.
Yeah.
Please. Yeah. Quickly. Yeah.
At the end of the day, the bandit said he should give them 2 hours. They are going to call. They didn't call in 2 hours until the next day. They called. They said, this government of Lolo said it's not going to give us money. Okay, we are not going to give you these children, we will kill them. He now busted into tears again. And at that point, they said, where is that man that brought that ransom that the parents gathered before? They want to see that man. And from there, only God knows how it happens. And there was communication that they should come and pick up these children in far away Benungwari, which is almost about 70-something or 80-something kilometers.
Wow. Those children must have gone through a lot. Let's check with what is happening or what happened in Zamfara State. Dr. Shinkafi is with us virtually. Dr. Shinkafi, give us a sense of what the mood is like when some of these kids were returned. The students of the College of Agriculture and Animal Science, Bakura, Zamfara State. What are the circumstances surrounding their release?
Well, the circumstances surrounding their release, the students were released unconditionally. When the governor came on board, the executive governor of Zamfara State in 29 May 2019, he extended a hand of fellowship and called for all the bandits to surrender and come and embrace peace. So some of the repented bandits that embraced peace initiated by the governor, and it is through that mechanism the government used the repented leaders of armed bandits to negotiate with them unconditionally, and the students were released yesterday.
I mean, this this is on the minds of a lot of people wanting to know, why is Zamfara a hotbed for these bandits in their act of abducting and kidnapping these young children or these students?
Well, the bandits have been going into rampage because of the way and the manner some people are not cooperating with the government. Because when somebody is kidnapped, the government have not encouraged payment of ransom. But the relation of the victim will now go from the backyard and start paying ransom. And the more you pay ransom to these bandits, the more you are empowering them, and the more they are buying arms and ammunition to go into this dirty trade. So this is the problem the state is facing. And they also show there's not much military presence in these dark spot areas, because in many occasions, the federal government have promised to deploy more military forces to fight this armed banditry, but it is minimal. So there is need for the federal government to mobilize more task forces to go to deal this, to handle this matter, because the way and the manner the bandit are trying to point Zamfara to epic center of armed banditry, it is highly alarming, and we have to tell ourselves the truth. It's not in doubt. We're in serious problem. So that's it. It is like some of the people are turning to a criminal enterprise. There's a lot of people involved in this dirty business.
But
that is what we are trying
Dr.
to
Shinkafi, yeah. Do you have an idea of the origin of some of these bandits? I know for some reasons there have been an engagement with them. Do they look like they're from Nigeria, or where do they look like they're from? Are they from outside of this place?
No, some of the bandits are really indigenous, the native of, for example, state. But there is some allied forces from the foreign country, mostly in Niger or Mali. And as for people, they also try to recruit among the houses. So it's a lot of camp spread across the state. But one of the dark spots of this bandit is Subugo Forest, where Ahmed Gumi visited some few months ago. And there is another camp also in Shinkafi Forest, in El Sado Forest. So there are many camps around across the state. So these bandits, most of the leaders of the bandits are indigenous.
So if they are indigenous, that means there is a problem there, because they probably have informants within the communities where they're applying their trade or they're operating. How do you hope, or how is the government handling this in such a way that the activities are curbed?
Well, the government was able to come out with some pronouncement today, try to close down all the major markets across the state where these bandits came and sell the cattle they rustled from the forest or from the villages, and also trying to cut their food supply. And all the major filling stations across the border sites were closed down. And the government give an order, executive order. Any motorcycle operator carrying more than 3 persons on the motorcycle, the security agency should shoot aside. And also the governor comes out with also another executive order that no petrol filling station will sell petrol in their can and drum. So, and the government is trying to collaborate with security agencies how to come about with this civilian joint task force, where the locals will be recruited for community policy in Zamfara State. And this is the way also they can checkmate the excesses of informers.
Yeah, so
most of these bandits, They heavily, they pay people heavily to get an information, and when they got information from the informer, they strike.
Quickly also, it was just about 2 days ago or so that the governor was asking that the president should declare a state of emergency on security in the Northwest region. But when we wonder, do you have an idea as a government of the sponsors of these bandits?
Well, I cannot precisely say we can identify easily the sponsors of the bandits, because the governor inherited this issue of armed banditry. The issue of armed banditry was in existence for the past 7 to 8 years. So it will be very difficult to identify the sponsor of the bandit. But I'm telling you, it's a criminal enterprise. Some security agencies, an allegation of even some security agencies are aiding and abetting this criminality. And some politicians, traditional rulers, food suppliers, dealers of motorcycles, a lot of people, even some part of this quack medical doctors are part of this criminal enterprise. So it has a lot of value chain. So what I'm trying to say, it will be very difficult to identify but I think going by the way things are going, we will be trying to make sure that anybody who is involved in this deadly act will be dealt with accordingly.
Let me go to back to our Abuja studio with Senator Musa, Sani Musa. Senator, the way forward, the cause of this, can you give us an idea, specifically in Niger State? Have you been able to identify the causes or the cause of this banditry, the armed banditry? Because I know that it's been in operation for a long time, and those perhaps who are behind it, have you been able to identify it? Then quickly we can also talk about the way for the solution.
Thank you, Shaun. Identifying who are the sponsors of this banditry or who are the bandits itself, I can tell you in Niger State, this is very alien. It is alien to the state. Banditry started coming in when, if I will recall, there was a joint state, joint forces by Katsina, Zamfara, Kaduna at a particular time. And when the Mr. President deployed the armed forces, members of the armed forces to Zamfara state at one particular time, that was when we started having the inflow of implosion of these bandits into Niger State. And when they came, normally, of course, they don't know the terrain at all. But usually, they will get informants. And I knew the state government was on top of this because they were able to arrest some of these informants. And I'm very sure these informants have given the state, the security agencies some very vital informations that have led to what we are facing, what we are seeing today, the kind of improvement we have seen in terms of these security lapses within Niger State, especially within my senatorial district. And with the efforts of His Excellency, the governor, we were able to get military personnel deployed to Niger State. And that has also been able to sustain this banditry. But when you ask who are the sponsors, I will tell you, yeah. I cannot imagine when people will collect ransom and still maintain and remain in the bush. And this ransom, we hear them usually pay, especially you heard what happened during when they arrested this, when they kidnapped these university students in Kaduna. How can you collect 50 million, 100 million, and you are still in the bush? It's not possible.
So, Senator,
you can't spend that money in the bush.
Let's close the program now. I'm being told that I just have about 60 seconds or less to go. Just in 30 seconds, what do you think is one thing that can permanently resolve this armed banditry in the region?
I think Mr. President have taken a position on this. And we should all give Mr. President all the necessary support to be able to allow the armed forces to take care of this. There will be collateral damage. No way, no two ways about that. But after the collateral damage, there will be the return of peace in this country. So what I'm saying in essence is that the camps where all these bandits are known. They usually they usually kidnap people and hold them hostage in order to have a cover against military attack.
All right, Senator.
But with what has happened, I think it is necessary for the military to do whatever necessary to clear up this bandits.
Thank you, Senator.
Once and for all.
Yeah. Dr. Shinkafi, 20 seconds, if you may. One solution from your end, in the Zamfara point of view, that you think is the solution to this problem. One of it.
The major solution is to deploy more jet fighters in this armed bandit hideout and to fight them, and also to engage these civilian JTF hunters to go into the bush and clear the ground. And that should be also a very important thing the government should do. Should now try to revisit the issue of grazing reserve law. Because if you look at it, there is about 415 grazing reserves. Only 2 grazing reserves are in Ogun and Oyo. If the government can come out with a new grazing reserve policy, most especially in the northern Nigeria, I think the issue of farmers and headers.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sani Shinkafi, the special advisor to Governor of Zamfara State, and Senator Sani Musa, a federal lawmaker representing Niger State in the Senate. It's a pleasure having both of you talk to us tonight on the program, and congratulations for the freedom of those students. But that's how we end the program tonight. Many thanks, everyone, for watching. I'm Sean Kimale. Bye for now.